older lineup, and we don't see dares and still no dead zone decky.
No dead zone, no surprise there. Okay, so kind of wrong here. They're going for an Eastern play. I mean, it's already risky because if you make a chop like Oops has shown us multiple times, but they'll be okay. For now, they're sending the Rue of Isna to spot in the middle. And Swift, yes, they're just playing in the 1-2 in the middle at the beginning. And Kazna crew, yes, they can take the Eastern side here, but you have to imagine Swift still has Atmospheric and Mihailov, which are two tanks that can peek under those rails. It all depends on when they realize. And look at Swift already. Their RU-251 road is very aggressive. They don't spot anybody. They realize. So this is a lot of map control for them. And now it depends on how both these teams set up to defend. Because Kazna crew, they obviously have to go for that cap now, because they're pretty much locked on that side. And it depends on the reaction from Swift. Do they go aggressive in the south, like we saw Oops do, or do they just play with their hold-down tanks? Where exactly do they play, and can they catch somebody out on the hill, for example?
Yep, this is very similar to how Gohard played the map earlier on when they were the ones on attack. They all went to the eastern side of the map. Now, Oops had a very different defensive lineup here. Kazna crew all sitting up on this hill. They have hill control, but they don't have any real vision, and it looks like they're going to start going down the hill as we see Haiba moving down. Yizni is down below him, and it looks like some of the other Batchats are going to come down as well. So they're giving up the hill now, Daki.
Giving up the hill indeed, but Elian already got spotted on there in the grill. He has to be careful. He could take a lot of damage for that if they're in position.
So he's rocking back and forward. Skylex and Mendax are getting shots into him. Elian is taking 1,000 damage already. He's unspotted, but they know the bushes he's in, and many shots are going to fire in towards him. So Alien down left now on 785 health, as we see Vetso also taking a hit in E5, and Swift are starting to get their guns lined up in the middle of the map here.
Swift have the advantage here, but you have to imagine Vetso, he's not safe there in their E5. Mandax can peek under the rails, takes a big one from the grill in return, but Vetso is in trouble here.
They're going to try and focus on Vetso, but everyone's peeking is getting shots at him now, so Vetso has got a damaged loader, or damaged ammo rack, sorry, because it was yellow as he quickly repairs it. Crossfire coming back into him, he's still getting shots. We Atmospheric taking a shot as well, and his loader's fixed. Now Road is sneaky all the way back, and he's going to try and get a peek onto Nexus and Alien.
If he spots Alien, Vetso is already dead in this one. He's done. Mihailov picks it up, but now he can spot the hill, and that's going to be more trouble because that Grilla needs to run as well.
Great play by Road. He does spot both Nexus and Alien. They back off into the corner. They're effectively out the battle now. They can't contribute to the fight, as Swift then turn onto the tanks down in the town. Alien and Nexus are not safe. They can still get hit by a lot of crossfire from the middle here.
Indeed. Now, this was very good from Swift. They did something similar to what Oops did. You could see they just play at the southern side of the rails. They completely abandon the north because that is what Kazna wants. They want them to play there. They got Vetso to be in a position where the E5 really doesn't work because he can't face his front to the correct position. He always gets shot in the side. Yes, Alien did one shot there, but Alien had to play careful because he already took some as well, and now Eurofish is getting wrecked.
Eurofish, the next one, focused fire here. Great shots coming in the back there from Skylex, as we see Road taking a hit there, 406 from his little spotting position, but there's not a lot of damage going back into Swift right now. I mean, Kazna crew have lost a tank. They have Alien down a lot of health. They have Eurofish, who's on a one-shot now. Great start here from Swift. Kazna crew are going to have to do a lot to get back into this game.
They're going to need a lot, and especially because they're completely locked down on that side. Yes, Isna got a cross, but that's just the RU-251. Can't make that much of a difference. He can be annoying, but that's also about it. It's just like the word. You can see here, he's not going to be able to do much. But as I said, they did great by catching off Vetso and then going on the hill. Now, Kazna crew, they're in a very weird position here. Crestwix is readjusting. They're completely locked down, and they can't even go for the cap.
Nexus is stuck up on the hill as he tries to retreat. Road gets hit again as he tries to peek. He's to be very careful. He's down to 59 health left. Nexus is still spot and lit from the tanks in the middle. It's Haiba that's trying to play them to keep them back, but now he takes a shot in the face as well as he starts backing off. Nexus is able to pull away safely here, but again, it's more damage spread across Kazna crew.
The difference here being is that Swift has complete control over this hill. Haiba at one point is not safe. Now he's getting shot from the hill as we expected. It's the IS-7. You can pen it, and the E5 can constantly play against him. This is really bad for Kazna. There's no real way out of here because the Gorilla can't really relocate with that at this point. And I mean, Swift is locking down every single side. They have the hill. If they want to kill Road, they're going to lose a tank. And now Kazna might push across the A-line, but I think Isna, he's pretty done for in this one.
Stefan has moved over, but Isne is going to find 2 bat chats, which is not going to be what he wants to see, as Mersky and Crispix just take him out of the battle. Now, Stefan is across the rails here, going down the 6th line, and Nexus is right behind them. Kazna crew are still trying to position back into it, but Nexus doesn't have a lot of health. That is the danger right now as they try and focus into Atmospheric.
It's the only thing they can do, try and focus Atmospheric, lose Stefan in return. Probably it's a desperation play. They can't do much. Haiba gets set on fire. He goes down. 3 guys left. They had to make a play for losing Isna. They had to do it. They couldn't do anything. They tried to go for the obvious choice. Swift was in position for it. They crossfired it. They took him down. 100% their round.
Swift right now are bloodied and bruised, but they still have all 7 guns in the game. That is the most important thing here. Now we see Mersky is on a 1-shot, Road is on a 1-shot, Atmospheric is on a 1-shot, but in return, Kazna crew only have 3 tanks standing. Nexus is pretty much a 1-shot, Eurofish is pretty much a 1-shot, and Alien is a 2-shot.
It's not going to happen. The only thing Kazna can do now is talk about the next round. Like, no, seriously, they need to use the time they have now to talk about the possible next round. Nice shot from Alien. That's all they can do, really. That's everything.
Eurofish getting his shot out. He's spotted here. Nexus is spotted as we see Road and Mihalov do die, but it doesn't matter right now. Swift could happily lose another 3 tanks and still be in the driver's seat right now. Alien on 17 health and Eurofish on 72 health. This is going to be round 1 to Swift. Could this be the beginning of the end, Daki, or is it too early to call?
Too early to call. I mean, if Swift pick up the next round, then it starts looking bad, obviously, because we talk about the, whoever takes an early lead, it's really vital in a matchup like this because, you start off well, you can keep going strong. You can win every map 1-1 after, and you're still secured. Now, Swift did a similar thing to Oops in regard, where they completely abandoned the North, which was a good call. And even now, it worked out even better for them because Vetso in that E5 never got to cross. He didn't want to cross anymore after Atmospheric got to the rails. And the issue is the E5, he can point his front towards you. But if there's 3 guys shooting you from behind, it doesn't matter where your front is facing. It even doesn't matter how much damage Swift they can return as long as they keep all their guns alive. Kill the E5. Yeah, they took a shot from the Gorilla, but Alien in the beginning also made a mistake, losing a lot of his HP, the Nexus, and so on. And after they lost that hill area, the game was over because with so many bad shots on high HP for Swift, Crespix could just rotate everywhere, and Kazna didn't have the force or the HP to go through there.
Yep, so who do you think was top damage?
Hard to call, but maybe Crespix or Atmospheric.
Christmas or Atmospheric. Okay, let's have a look at the stats to see where the damage came from in that one.
Well, I'm on point today.
Crispix, Atmospheric, well done. Atmospheric, not even on front page. Crispix 6. I mean, well, first page still counts technically. Alien and Nexus, top damage.
Yeah,
Alien, 8 shots.
Completely forgot about him.
Landed pretty much every one, I'd guess there.
8 shots he landed like 5 because 750 alpha.
Yep. Decent. Nexus 3112. I mean, good damage from both of them, but they're the only 2 players from Kazna on the front page.
You have to imagine how long did they stay alive. Nexus was one of the last to die, and so was Alien.
Vetso and Haiba, your 2 1-shot tanks, not even doing a single shot there.
Vetso got completely caught out. He really couldn't do anything, and then Haiba tried to play over there, but you have to imagine once you lose that hill, you can start to see him get shot on the side. The E5 peeks over. They could even play with the rail. There's a position where you can shoot under there as well. Once they lost the hill, it was over. Really, it's completely done.
Really nice scouting there from Road, able to get so much vision for his team, and well played from Swift for being able to hold that position and rotate round and just kind of catch Kazna off guard. You got to remember that Kazna spawned from the number 1 at the bottom of the map here, and when you saw the fighting happening here, it was Swift who were all in the bottom half of the map. They completely out-rotated Kazna.
Look, Nexus got an entire clip off pretty much there, so it's a lot of the damage there as well. And if that round tells us anything, it doesn't look so good.
Yep, well, let's have a look at the lineups going in for round 2. Now, something I noticed here is that Kazna crew are going with the exact same lineup. They've just swapped their grill for a bat chat.
It's a very universal lineup with the i7 and the E5. You can do anything you want. You can play middle very effectively because the i7 can play somewhere hold down. Obviously, you can't really rush him because bat shots with APCR. They're going to bounce some shots, obviously. And then the E5 can just peek. And Swift doesn't really have that TD, for example. But triple 113, I mean, this is either of 2 things, right? We've seen Oops do this with i7s, where they go very aggressive in the eastern side, try to catch them off the hill. Or or it is a 1-2 line rush. It has to be one of those two because 1-1-3s don't work anywhere else.
Well, let's find out which one it's going to be, Daki, as we can jump into round 2 here. Are Swift able to take this to 2-0, or Kazna crew going to bring it back to 1-1? Real interested to see how these 1-1-3s are going to be used and which direction they go, because it's an unusual pick for this map, because they're not exactly tanks with fantastic elevation or depression.
No, they're only really good for pushing, and they're actually splitting up here in the beginning. Okay, this is interesting. We'll have to see how they're used for. I mean, they're good because they're very effective against heat shells, for example, and they're very effective against APCR as well. So if you push down 1-2 line, you can be sure that the batchas, they're not going to pen every single shell. They're going to go like 3 out of 5, perhaps, if they're lucky. Maybe 5 out of 5 if they're very good aiming, but you have to imagine at one point you're going to hit the track, going to hit the turret, you're not always going to hit that lower plate. And it's very interesting what Crespix and Atmospheric are doing there. I think they're just sitting in the bushes for now.
Yep, they've moved up and they've stopped, so they're not carrying on. Quite sneaky positioning from them, actually. Now, Road and Mendax in the middle here. Mendax going into the next depression can be a dangerous area, but there's no crossfire. Isne is in that common scout area. It's just a case of which bush is he in is going to be the next conundrum for Swift, trying to get him out of it.
Indeed, he got spotted, and we've already seen this before. You can't really commit to take him out. The only question here is what is Atmospheric and Crespix going to do, because they just got spotted out. And Swift really, right now, they can't rush 1-2 line just yet. I mean, Road is going for it, so I think Isne will fall, but that's also it.
Road is spotted. He's going to get eliminated, and he does spot Isne now. Can Swift quickly take out Isne? They really need to do it. They need to make the next shot count, because if Isne can... Well, he can't survive, so it doesn't matter what I was about
But
to
look
say.
at the damage Skylex took for that.
Not really a good trade here from Swift. Kazna crew have only lost Isne. Nobody else in their team's taking damage. Swift is starting to take damage across the board.
Indeed, now Mandax tries to get out of there as well, and Skylex took a lot, Mandax took a lot as well. Now Stefan is already over the rails, but what an overextension from him!
Stefan lucky there with that last shot, just woofing over his head and missing. He's down on 437. The alpha from the 113s would have been enough to kill him there. As you see Vetso taking a shot now as well. Haiba takes a hit and actually loses his driver. It doesn't look like he's got a medipack, Daki.
Kazna needs to stop overextending here all over the place. Haiba takes some as well now, and Mandax doesn't connect the shell against Vetso, but the play from Stefan was unneeded, unnecessary, and now they're going to push 1-2 line. I'm going to have to see if they can actually overmatch. Skalex is on reload, so it's just Mihailov for now.
Urofish, Nexus and Alien coming down here in the Batchat Wolfpack looking for targets. They're going to poke onto Skylex if you can see them. Nexus takes a hit there from Mihailov. Mihailov and Nexus trading. Nexus hasn't landed a shot yet. He could go down to Mihailov, and this is going to be a bad trade as they lose a Batchat quickly. Next shot coming out. No, actually, there was additional crossfire there from Urofish able to help out Nexus, but Nexus is dead. Now, Kazna crew are taking a lot of damage, but Swift only have 2 tanks left now, and this is pretty much GG all over. It's going to be 1-1.
Indeed, it's all over here. Kazna crew realizing their advantage, pushing down 1-2 Nexus. Yeah, I mean, he traded with Mihailov, but I was worth it at that point because they had the overmatch already. Atmospheric, the last one standing in Vetso. I think we'll pick it up.
I think it's fair to say there, Swift, you had some kind of plan with the 113s, but you really didn't use it. Unusual there. Bit cheeky there from Vetso, just lifting the gun barrel and rocking
BM.
back and forward there. But BM, you know, but yeah, careful, Kazna crew. That might come back to bite you in the ass, to be honest. Got to be careful with that, you know. Treat your opponents fairly. You've got a long match ahead of you.
Now, there, Mandax, I don't know why he exactly tried to run away, but there was a big overextension there from Stefan that almost turned around back in their favor. That was... I really don't know what he was doing there. It's just a complete misplay. You shouldn't peek that area, 3-1-1-3s. I mean, they don't have the best gun in the world, but even we can auto-aim and shoot.
Yeah, even we. I like how you said we. I like how you brought yourself into it. Didn't say like even you can, you know.
You know, I wanted to be nice,
yeah,
so I just included both
thanks
of us.
For that. Yeah, thanks for
you're welcome. But the thing is there, you send Road to kill Isne, which is completely fine, right? You trade RU for RU, which is probably in your favor, but Skylex also got spotted for that.
Yeah.
And he went down to like 199 HP or something. 1 shot for sure. So 1 shot, which is not worth the trade. Because afterwards you saw the Swift tanks. I mean, what's the show what Crespix and Atmospheric were doing over there? But
I don't understand the lineup from Swift. I mean, 3 1-1-3s on that map just don't make sense to me. If they had a plan, if they were all sticking together,
it would work
going somewhere.
if they push 1-2 line, for example.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what they were doing in the bushes in the beginning, but
I guess they were maybe expecting Kazna to come down that flank, but it didn't go in their favour. So let's have a look at the damage done in that battle to see who came out on top as the top damage dealer. Top 4 tanks there, all coming from Kazna crew.
All top 4 tanks from Kazna crew indeed. And Haiba and Vetso, you know, we talked about them last round, remember? Now they are on top of that leaderboard. How the tables swing, you know. But
oh, how the tables have turned, yes, indeed, as they're in the IS7 and
same,
E5, same tanks.
Same thing, that's how we say it in Belgium.
Yeah.
But yeah, good stuff there. I'm not surprised Stefan's not up there, Ilya neither, because the bad shots realistically only got really 1 clip off. So I don't know what the plan was from Swift. It looked like they were trying to make a trap, a sort of trap with those double 113s. Like you put them in the bushes, for example, and you wait perhaps for a bad shot to rush you. But even then, not sure what the trigger was for it, and it kind of fell to pieces after Skylex died.
Yeah, it was a strange tactic for this map. I would expect different tanks to be used than the 113s. They're very limited in what they can do. I mean, the gun has better alpha than a lot of the tier 10 heavies, but you don't have the depression or elevation for it, so it can be not very good at trying to peek over ridgelines, which a lot of this map depends on.
This is where Skylex takes so much damage. Down to 199, and that gives Kazna crew the advantage. They want to push down 1-2, especially because Skylex wasn't reloaded at that point. He was reloading during an entire fight, got a kill, and then died. And then, you know, you can have 2 113s on high HP. It doesn't really matter. This is a bit BM.
Cheeky Vetso, cheeky. You gotta be careful with that, mate. I'm telling you, it's the long series. Yep. Now, second map, we're going to have Himmelsdorf. How does this favour the teams?
It favors Kazna.
Okay.
Well, you have to imagine also that Swift played it like a ton.
Yeah.
So if you didn't play it well in the beginning of the season, which they didn't when Crespix was still playing FVTD, which he doesn't do anymore. So the stats are, you know, they're not okay because of that. So I still think it's going to be even. Like Swift, they can play a very good Himmelsdorf. Not looking at the stats, just speaking, I think they can play a very good Himmelsdorf, but so can Kazna. Maybe another 1-1.
Another 1-1. Okay. Well, let's have a look at the lineups for round 1 that we're going to see here. We're going to have Swift on the attack with Kazna crew on the defense. Now, 113s, AMX 50Bs, TVP, and a 1390.
Swift with the TVP. I've seen this being picked a few times. Not the greatest of fans. Yeah, it can get a lot of damage out quickly, but if it gets into a one-on-one, he's usually done for, especially against bad shots. Now, Kazna's crew lineup here kind of looks perhaps like a courtyard control, you know, with the T10, double bad shot, quickly down 1-2, 1-1-3. It could be courtyard control. I mean, especially with those double tier 9s. That's when we see this happen, and Swift. Gonna see how they set up for that one, because if they get surprised by it, it's gonna be trouble.
Well, let's find out who can take this one as Swift and Kazna crew fight in Himmelsdorf. Now, how are they going to line up here? We see a substitution in there for Kazna. We see Dares coming into the lineup.
Isna is out. The tier 8 player is not playing, so Dares stepping into the lineup. It's been good for them on multiple occasions, but look at this Swift lineup. It is going to be the K-line push. It looks like that. It looks like a very aggressive K-line push, but look at Kazna. They're completely set up for this. They have all 7 almost in position. Only the tier 9 Batcha will not be able to receive this fight. Now it depends if it's Nexus. If Nexus gets focused down really quickly, it's in favor of Swift, and he's going for it.
Nexus is going to get focused. He gets a shot into Crispix, and the counterfire is coming back into him as the rest of the tanks come over from Kazna crew. Ealing comes rushing over as well, trying to get shots into Mersky. Crispix is clipped. He's already got all his shots out. Rode is getting shots back out as well. The damage is going in Swift's favour initially, but Kazna crew are getting their shots counted as well. There are so much shots flying back and forwards right now. It's really hard to keep up with everything. Vetso is the lowest right now on Kazna crew. Rode is the lowest. Well, Mersky is the lowest in Swift. He's now the first one to fall in this fight.
So many overextensions going on here, and as they Swift could still be good in this one. They've lost Mersky, but a lot of damage was taken on Rode as well. Now when they come off reload, the counter push should happen.
Urofish gets the kill into Crispix as Atmospheric then gets one back into Vetso. Now we see Nexus is going to try and run. Mendax is just going to come off reload, he's going to get shot into him. Alien there in the middle, he's able to get a kill. Dares onto Road there. Now Swift are stuck back in the corner. Kazna Crew are able to get the wraparound with multiple guns. Kazna Crew still have 6 guns to Swift's 4, make that 3. This one's going to go to Kazna Crew.
It does look like that, but it's still possible here. Mandax made a little bit of an overextension. Eurofish needs to do his damage here. He will fall, but they will lose Skylex in return. If Mandax didn't die there was the potential for it, but great stuff from Kazna Crew, removing gun after gun after gun. Now they're again left with 2 high HP 113s, and it's not going to end well for both of these.
So the age-old rule of focus fire coming out well from Kazna Crew there. You can see that Swift did a lot of damage to Kazna Crew, but essentially what they didn't do is they didn't focus down the tanks of Kazna Crew. Tanks, as we always say, gun in-game is one of the most important things in this battle. If you still have a gun, that gun can still do damage. That means it can still shoot enemy tanks. Kazna Crew still finishing the battle there. I think 4 or 5 guns left available to them. Huge amount of damage on them, but still they were able to shoot back, and that's what's cost Swift to fight here.
It was good. Swift there, we talk about it. If you don't have a 3090, some teams don't spot the K-line, and then you can get surprised, right? Because 3090 obviously gets put in position on that rubble pile to spot the K-line, for example. And we've seen teams doing Utopia rush across the K-line to counteract that, because you don't spot, you don't see them, you're kind of surprised. What Kazna did, on the other hand, is they pushed everybody down. Everybody was there. All their 50Bs, all their 113s, bad shot, everybody was there.
Felt like they dread that tactic.
Yes, and even Haiba, with his position, he was spotting the 8 line, so if Swift went for a different kind of tactic, rushed down the 8 line, for example, then he would be able to spot that. Now, his position worked out because when Crespix was reloading, and Mirsky as well, they decided to back off again, which then turned into the gun of Haiba. So, good stuff there. And a little bit of misplays on Swift's side as well. Mannax overextending there, and Road, he was the only one that went across the K line.
Yeah. Yep. Let's have a look at the highlights there and see when the stats as the things kicked off there. So we had Dares doing top damage for his team, coming in there as a substitute and really doing great.
Yeah, not bad. He got 2 clips off there. That was really good from him. He stayed alive. He also did a lot of damage on Mannax when he tried to push forward. I don't know. Seemed like a little bit of miscommunication in Swift's team, because Mannax was going one way while the rest of the team was going another. And then Skylex was somewhere in between trying to help either side. If these two 50Bs went together, might have changed the game, but the issue was that their 113s had all the HP, which obviously doesn't really work out against an autoloader-centered lineup.
Yep, an interesting thing as well is when the fighting started, TVP of Swift, Crespix here, didn't connect with all his shots. Now, he had the Batchat right in front of him, I believe, of Nexus. Nexus realistically should have dropped from that situation.
I think Nexus should have died in the beginning.
So something,
if he did, then
something wasn't right there, because it was Crespix and Mersky with the 2 right in front of him.
And Nexus survived way too long. Nexus did survive way too long.
And Mersky didn't finish him, so something wasn't right there. I think perhaps
Nexus was the second damage dealer. Like, he should have instantly died when Crespix got there.
So maybe they got distracted with all the other tanks coming in behind them and spreading their fire.
They were doing okay damage in the beginning, though. If they killed Nexus, they would probably have the advantage, because then they probably don't have to retreat.
Yep, well, let's have a look at the highlights and see the action, because everything happened in the blink of an eye down in that corner. So Nexus is still alive by this stage. They've lost Crespix, they've lost Mersky from that corner.
Yeah, here Mannax just keeps going. Road goes down here because Durs comes around the corner, and Nexus survives, and this Mannax is alone while Mikhailov Atmospheric are pushing the other side, and Skylex is like, which side do I help?
Yeah. The Urofish goes down here, but I mean, there's still 5 tanks left from Kazna Crew, and they finish on 5, I believe. Yeah. Atmospheric going down there. Mihailov is the next one down. Yeah, 5 tanks available. Only 2,902 health, though, so a hell of a brawl, but at the end of the day, they come out on top, and realistically, all that matters is that you win the game. It doesn't matter if you win the game in a nice, easy, controlled fashion, or if you win it in an absolute... I was going to say cluster something, but an absolute mess.
A cluster what? Ryan, a cluster what?
Cluster mess, yes. Cluster muck, there we go, yeah.
A cluster muck.
Yeah, very messy situation. As long as you get the battle, as long as you get the win, that's all that counts. Now, let's have a look at the lineups for round 2 here. Interesting from Kazna Crew, they've only swapped 2 tanks in their lineup, so they are swapping out the Batchat and the 113, and they're taking another T10 and another Batchat.
A very aggressive lineup here again. It could be the 8th line rush that we have talked about, or the K line one. You can go very quickly down that 8th line with the bat shots, put double cap pressure, and work from there. With the 50 Bs behind, and the T10s are also very quick, so that's one of the potential there. But Swift with a very heavy lineup, double E5, E100, Rheinmetall, Borsig.
It's very defensive, very, very.
Yeah, the Rheinmetall,
we're not going out the
we've
spawn.
seen this before. He just shoots on towards the 0 line. Depends what gun he has as well, because the big gun, and that's 750 Alpha as well.
Yeah, the Borsig, you might take the different gun.
Because it's the E100 gun as well. And the E100 as well. I mean, this is a very light lineup against a very heavy one.
Can you see it from your screen? Which gun does he have?
Looks like the big one.
It looks like a little dumpy one, yeah?
Yes, the big one. It's the big one.
Okay.
It's the boomstick.
It's the big one, the big little one.
Yes, it's the boomstick.
The boomstick. Okay, so interesting to see how Swift are going to do this. I expect them to be hyper defensive here and just say, okay, Kazna, come to us. We will let you have all the time that you want.
So they're not rushing the 8 line, they're sending the batch towards the K line. They've obviously read Swift's tactic, because you don't split up like this without knowing what they're going to do. I mean, they're already sending the bat shots there for a reason. Swift has played like this before, so they're countering, if you want to say it like that, or at least reading into the enemy's lineup.
Rhodes spotted immediately. He already takes a shot. It looks like it's from Dares there. Stefan was lining up to try and get a potential shot into him, but he doesn't. Rhodes is now in a bad position. He's going to die straight away.
Yeah, this is what I've talked about. This is a counter from Kazna crew. They knew what Swift was going to do. Ilian knew that there was nobody going to be behind, so he already went to play very aggressive because he knew. He knew there was probably not going to be anybody there, so they lose road. That's an issue from Swift. Playing with a similar lineup costs you if the enemy team does decide to predict what you're going to do, anticipate what you're going to do, react to what you're going to do.
Kazna crew doing their homework here on Swift and how they play Himmelsdorf. They knew exactly when they saw that Borsig where it was going to be, and they positioned themselves accordingly. So nicely done, Kazna crew.
Stefan might get a lot of shots into Crespix here as well, and he's on fire.
Crespix burning already with the engine shot damage there. Not good at all. He doesn't have an extinguisher. Second shot coming into him does a massive amount of damage as well. He's down to 424. That's a one shot. Stefan's going to probably finish him off the next. No, he doesn't. He lowers. That's a low roll. A low roll. Urofish misses with his shot. 5 health, and he's going to get slapped in the face by Dares.
It's not good here for Swift. Already 2 tanks down and kind of split all over the map, and Kazna controlling everything, including the 5 line. Mikhailov is also split off over there. I think this is Kazna crew's round, and the rest they make a big mistake like Haiba just did.
Haiba taking a huge hit, 8-8 there from Mikhailov there in the Heat 100. As he reloads in for another shot, as we see another, looks like Alien trying to get cross shots into the E100. Haiba's going to poke again to probably take another shot.
It'll be interesting to see what Kazna crew goes for now. I mean, they haven't won the game just yet, obviously. There's still, there's still 5 guns for Swift. They have 7, and the thing is that they don't have a 1390, obviously, so they have actually 7 guns that all do damage. And I think it all just depends on Kazna crew making a group up, make a push together. That's it.
They're going to go around the top of the banana road here as we see a sneaky flank all the way around from Alien. But
I don't like
Swift
that.
are pushing
I really
out the
don't like
opposite
that.
way now, so Alien could get himself caught off, but as soon as that happens, Kazna crew are going to make the push on the other side.
Yeah, but if Alien gets caught here by Mirsky, for example, that brings a gun back into the favor of Swift.
Atmospheric spotted, so he knows somebody's over here. Mirsky's not spotted yet, but because Atmospheric got spotted, now he sees Alien, he's spotted. Can he get the shots into him? Alien's playing a dangerous game right now.
Obviously, Mirsky does not realize that Alien is there alone. If he did, he would go for him. If Kazna crew was capping, obviously, at that point, he would probably go for it. But now he's taking the cautious decision, deciding that, obviously, he doesn't know where the tanks are. Alien getting very lucky with that one. Now, Kazna crew has a lot of control here, and especially because Swift will have to push into their gun line at some point.
So Swift hemmed back here in between the C5 block, if you like, and everything behind it in the northwest of the map. Mirsky going all the way down trying to chase Alien, but the danger is he's taking himself out of the battle. He is spotted by Haiba, so Kazna crew are going to know that one of the Batchats is nowhere near this fight, and they might want to take the overmatch here.
Indeed. Now Mirsky is very far out of it. That leaves 4 guns. Now, only 3 are going together. And look at the group up from Kazna crew. As soon as they get close, I think they will come around the corner and absolutely destroy them.
Mirsky, this is...
Mikhailov is so dead.
he missed with his shot, and they're going to try and track him and then focus him.
He's dead.
So many shots going in his upper front plate, his lower front plate, sorry. Nobody actually tracking him, but they don't need to. They can just pummel shots like that. And Atmospheric getting blocked by Mikhailov there as he tries to get in behind him, taking a lot of damage as well, as Mikhailov is surely going to fall. But it doesn't matter because that's the base capped. No resets coming in there from Swift, and a nice bit of control there from Kazna crew. Swift, you are playing a bit predictable, and Kazna crew plays right into that.
Indeed, that was a counter. That has to be a counter.
That's
I mean,
very
there's
much
no way.
this is what they're going to do, boys.
There's no way that Elin just drives around that corner and is like, you know, there could be 3 guns for all we know covering a road, but they've set up like this before. So Swift playing an old tactic, Kazna crew, they might bring their lineup that they wanted to bring, but definitely reading into what Swift was going to do and adapting to it and knowing what was going to happen.
So, the Kazna tilt looks like it's not going to happen at all.
Well, it's not over yet.
It's not over yet. I mean, they can do the good old take it to win before match point, or take it to match point and then just lose everyone after that.
Like 6-1 and then lose like...
That would be like horrible on a best of 13.
Wow, you just jinxed it. If it goes to 6-1 and then goes to 7-6...
for them to lose everyone, like, man.
I'll
dye my hair blonde if that happens.
I know who's first in stats, though.
Tell me.
I think Stefan. Has to be Stefan.
Let's have a look at
who else?
The damage and see who came out on top there. Well done.
Oh, it had to be Stefan.
It had to be.
He said Crespic's on fire, so...
Yeah, the fire damage, I suppose. Dare's coming in second there, but I mean, damage after that's completely not really relevant because it was a cap, and it was a cap when there was still a lot of HP on the battlefield.
Yeah, I almost forgot. I almost didn't see the capture there for a second.
Yeah, you pointed at it. There was like 1 second to go. I was like, oh yeah, wow, okay, they're capping still. There's no resets coming in.
No, because it was the T...
Because we thought they would come round and take the fight.
But they did come round, but the T10 and I think it was T10 and Nexus who were the ones capping. Pretty sure about that one. So the Nexus never got resetted. He was full HP with 5 shots the entire time, and I don't think the T10 got resetted either.
So not a lot of damage done by the teams, but that's what happens when you have a cap go as smoothly as that. We rarely see caps actually working on Himmelsdorf like that. Usually there's always a cap reset. The teams don't allow it to happen, but Swift just didn't really have enough HP to be able to do that in the end.
So it was Vetso and Nexus capping, and they never got resetted. They still did take the fight. But once they realized, I think there was somebody on TeamSpeak like, cap.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Okay, we've got a free cap. Now we're going to be going into map number 3, the good old Muravanka. To be fair, we only had it once in the previous match, and it was nice and quick. Are we going to get the same?
No. You wish. Swift is pretty good on Muravanka. I mean, they completely destroyed...
Swift love running Muravanka out to the last minute.
Atmospheric, hello?
Atmospheric, hello? What's going on here?
So last time they played, it was...
Yeah, that was against Kazna as well. And Kazna were like, what the hell? And the best thing is that IS-7 got spotted before the artillery in front of him.
So, like, Swift has, like, 60% win ratio, Kazna has, like, 45, and Swift is really good on the defense.
Okay, let's have a look at the lineups. This is one of Swift's favourite stomping grounds. They do like to run this one out. We have seen them run it out to the clock when they're winning. We've also seen them run it out to the clock when they're losing because they don't quite know what to do. Was it also against Kazna? Was it also Kazna Swift where they didn't reset at the last minute? Kazna crew were going in for the reset and they didn't do it.
No, that was against Utopia.
Against Utopia, okay.
I'm not sure, but I think
so. Yeah, definitely this map can be a bit of a bogey map for Kazna. Lineups, anything extraordinary here, Daki?
Nope, but we're going to have to see if Kazna crew perhaps goes for another counter play or what they're going to bring.
Well, let's find out as we can jump into map number 3 here between Swift and Kazna crew on Muravanka. And here we go. So that's the short intro into Muravanka. I do like the longer intro because, as I always say, when it shows the 2 pushes into the base, it looks like a big smiley face. You need to watch for that next time they do the longer intro.
Not a smiley face.
It does look like it's got the 2 eyes of the bases and then a big 2
already
lines.
2 bad shots from Kazna crew going for the cap here, so it is a sort of cap fast at the very least, or a bait. They want to get them to come. There is an Eurofish.
I think it's a bait.
It is probably a bait. They've set up like this before. You put 2 bat shots in the cap, you wait for them to come, and what they want is road. They want road to move. That's all they want. They want road to move out of his position, so he's not in the bushes anymore.
Skylex took a hit there.
Yep. So once he's not in the bushes anymore, we're seeing less experienced teams fall for this, but not Swift. They're not going to fall for this. Kazna has tried this before with success, but Swift not going to fall for it. 2 bat shots now leave the cap, and they're starting to realize that road is still there.
Yeah, Road's like, I'm at home here, guys. This is my bush. I love the bushes on this map. I am not going anywhere. There's one thing that's guaranteed about Swift on defense here in Muravanka is that Road does not leave a bush when he's in one. It's a very nice bush he's got there, but he has knocked over a tree for additional coverage as well.
I think he knocked over a lot of trees, so they're not kind of sure where he's going to be.
Very sneaky, actually. You can see all the trees around him. If a tree falls in Muravanka and no one's around to see it, does that mean there's an AMX 1390 in it?
Mm-hmm. But they're going to put Haiba there in the IS-7, and he's going to be very hard to deal with, because obviously that turret is very hard to pen. I mean, yeah, you can pen on the top of it, but if you hit that, you're a god, a legend.
A legend. Pity we don't have legend in the...
Legend.
We don't have them in the league anymore. They could have been the ones to do it. Have a team of legends.
Now it depends on how Haiba plays this one. If he overextends, you know, if he doesn't overextend, they're leaving Vetsu in the back. Because he's an E5, he's stronger. He can last, if, for example, the push from Oops game, he can probably last a little bit longer than a T57. You leave him over there so you can defend that side. So they're kind of making an enclosure here around the boys from Swift. They want to get every possible angle. So if they do peek to reset, for example, they get shot from everywhere.
So Dare's just setting up position here in the middle of the map. Swift hyper defensive, but at the end of the day, they don't have to do anything. I mean, you can go for map control, but on this map, because Muravanka's played so slowly, because there's so much foliage and cover, you don't need realistic map control as defense. You just need to know where you expect the enemy team to come from, and it's always quite predictable on this map.
I would like to see what equipment Atmospheric is running, because perhaps he's running binos or something. Because he's sitting in the bush that we see a lot of scouts in, so perhaps he's running binos, for example. Going to be interesting to see.
Well, we can get that just a second. I'm pretty sure if we ask nicely to have the viewpoint from
he has to have binos,
Atmospheric.
because he spotted Isna. I think he spotted Isna. He must have some sort of spotting equipment.
He
There we
does.
go.
Binos.
Woohoo! Let's go.
Thank you, cameraman.
I knew it. It had to be. Because the bush he is in, we've seen it being used by bad shots.
That just went right over his shoulder
The thing
there.
is, right, we've seen this bush be used by bad shots. But when a bad shot is in there, you blind shot it, and obviously, you know, you're going to penetrate or critical hit him in the track. But when you put an E5 there, you know, you're not going to go through it, especially not the bad shots. The E5 might, but none of the bad shots will. No chance.
So nice play from Swift there, taking advantage of the terrain. Like you say, Muravanka's their stomping ground. They know what to do here, and they happily run down the clock because it's one of the kind of things that you associate with Swift is long battles sometimes.
It's not looking good for Kazna, in my opinion, unless they manage to clear the bushes somehow. I mean, they don't even know Road is in his bushes over there. So that's the second thing.
And he's also got 2 tanks right behind him.
Yeah, how they're going to deal with Atmospheric, I'm not sure. Because, you know, it's Haiba in the I-7 over there. It's a single shooter. And even then, the E5, it's very hard to hit that lower hull. Now, Isna did go onto the cap, so that has started. He managed to get into an angle. But Swift, obviously, playing with an E5, you kind of know where the points is that he can sit unspotted. You kind of know where he has to be, and they're aiming very close to him.
The laser grid coming up there as we can see where all the guns are aiming, and people are going right over Yizne. It was reminding me of that film with Catherine Zeta-Jones and Sean Connery called Entrapment, but you're going to look at me and say, I
have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. There's basically a bit where she has to climb through a laser grid, and she's wearing a cat suit, and it's a highlight of the movie. Bit like in, you would have saw Ocean's 13, I think it is, where they have to do it as well, laser grid, get through it? No?
Yeah, the one with the music?
Yeah, there you go. See, just like that. Disney's having to dodge all these laser grids right now. Look at him.
Oh, he actually drove into it. He drove into it. I was watching on my screen, and he drove into it.
Yeah, he went back into it. Unlucky there for Yizne. Just as we talk about that, Yizne's like, oh yeah, I know what they're talking about. Boom! Touches one of the lasers.
Because I'm having the lasers up all the time here. And there we come Vetso. He might spot out that E5 atmospheric. The atmospheric can't spot anymore. But they got the reset on Isna, which is all that matters for now. 4 minutes, 20 seconds left. No fire just yet. Relax. But they can always send in road at one point if they want.
Crispix just bouncing a shot there from Haiba off his upper front plate because the angle there. Vetso trying to play peekaboo here, but all he needs to do is get tracked and he'll jump on him.
They're going to go for the overmatch on Vetso most likely, but Kazna really wants this to happen. But it looks like that the way they're setting up, that in about 5 to 10 seconds, they might take the overmatch against at E5.
So all hell's going to break loose as you see Swift repositioning here. Now, Kazna crew are in a little wraparound here, so Swift have to be careful because anyone who peeks over that ridge line is going to get eliminated. Swift have to play this one really carefully and really slowly. They have a long time still to go to be able to reset the cap. They still have just under a minute. But they're missing with their shots on Yizne. They need to connect another one with Yizne sometime soon. Here comes the overmatch down onto Vetso, but he's getting shot in the back. The tanks coming around the front were a bit of a bait. Only one shell connected with him in the back, though. That was Road. That was very bold.
Yeah, Road there doing very well, but Mirsky takes a lot for that, but I think there's an IS-4. There's Mikhailov constantly shooting him in the back. So yes, Swift lost a lot of HP, but they are going to lose Vetso, and they've lost cap pressure as well. And look at the time.
Mendax chasing down Eurofish here. He should be able to get the kill on him, as you see Mihailov getting shots into Vetso as well. 3 minutes left. Kazna crew starting to get the push into Swift. They have the health advantage right now, but they really need to make the guns count. Mendax has a single shot left.
Nice.
He does it.
But he's going to die to Durs, though, most likely.
Yep. Ders is coming off reloads. There'll be a little collision there, which will cost Ders a little bit of health. That just gives Ders just an advantage in for shooting at Mendax. Mendax has no health left. Oh, but there is a crossfire coming in as well, where Ders is going to get shot at. But now there's rubble in the way. Skylex has health now as well. He can get shots into Ders. He has 3 shots. Ders still has 2, though. You see Alien with shots left as well. Now, Kazna crew have lost 2 tanks. They've lost Vetso, they've lost Eurofish. Swift have lost Mendax and Mersky. We're down to just above 2 minutes left. Kazna crew might actually take this one, Daki.
Yeah, they might actually. Atmospheric. Crespix has all the HP on this lineup. You have to imagine that it is 5 guns versus only 4 here, and they need to take down Alien. Atmospheric needs to get him, and Crespix needs to start utilizing his HP.
Nice shot from Alien there. He tracks Atmospheric. He gets the shot into Atmospheric to distract him. As we can see him then finishing off as Yizne got a shot in the back as well. Swift pushed into the middle here. A bit of an over extension, really, because they drove into the guns of Kazna and they were surrounded by all of the tanks. And that was a bit of a misplay, I would say, from Swift at the end there.
Yeah, I mean, the way they went for that E5 wasn't the greatest. They came all through that EF line, which there were a lot of guns from Kazna prepared for that, even though they knew they were going to send Mikhailov from behind. So not sure what exactly the plan was there, and it costed them too much HP in the end.
What looked like a bad situation there for Kazna has actually turned into a good situation as they're able to finish out this match with 5 tanks still available. Ders hanging in there with 22 HP from that brawl in the middle, but fair play to Kazna. I mean, as we're saying, a scrappy win is still a win. It still counts, and now they're 4-1 up.
Well, yeah, they were set up for that push to come out. I don't understand why they even went for it with the low armor targets, because Vetso had to deal with Mikhailov one way or another, so they could probably kill him between those two and take him out. They lost so much HP, and then Mannax, yes, he took down Eurofish one-on-one, but then Skylex died, and all the HP of the entire lineup was on Crespix at one point, which is not really great.
I can tell you that before we bring up the stats, I know who came top damage. I don't know if you glanced or not as well,
No.
but the top damage is pretty brutal from one of the teams, so it's a really impressive amount of damage. Damage, as some people would say. What's the damage thing? Is that it comes from the way somebody says it, isn't it? Caribari.
Who would be first in damage? I'm thinking. Give me 5 seconds.
Well, I see in chat right now. I can't see chat, but everyone in chat tell me right now who you think was top damage, and then I'll tell you who was top damage before it comes up. Because I glanced and it was impressive.
I'm going to say 2 guys.
Okay.
Actually, I want to say more. I was thinking either the i7 because he probably got some side shots, or Stefan.
Okay. Are you happy with those ones?
I'm not sure.
Okay, final answer. Do you want to ask the audience?
Those 2.
Those 2.
I didn't really pay attention to it, so I'm just guessing.
Okay, let's roll the damage stats and see whether you're right or not. Pow! 4.2 from Dares in the back chat.
Not bad at all. pretty good.
Damn, nice.
Anything above 3K is pretty impressive. So 4 is really, really good.
And he was brawling in the middle as well, so he was able to pick up a lot of damage there.
Yeah, very good shooting from him. 4.2k damage, 15 shots. That's very, very impressive, really. I mean,
look at how many shots he fired compared to Stefan.
Well, Stefan only had 6 shots left in the end of the game. Others might have done some blind shots, but he hit 14 and he penetrated 11. So that's really good, actually.
That's damn nice, yeah. Nice shooting there from him. And that's somebody who hasn't really featured in the team a lot. So, Kazna crew, put him in the team lineup from the start. He'll do a lot better for you.
4-1. Who would have thought? I thought it was going to be close.
Me too as well, but then, I mean, we saw an interview there from Vetso that Vetso said they've been doing their homework. They had some surprises. Maybe the surprises is not actually in the lineup. It's just actually they've been putting a lot of research
At this point,
into
it's
what
still
Swift
very
do.
even.
Yeah.
Kind of falls to pieces here somehow. Durs plays this really well because he uses the houses to cover himself.
Mm-hmm.
Skylex goes in here and dies for nobody knows what reason.
And the crossfire coming in there from Stefan to save theirs. This one's
And
nice.
even here it's still
That's
close.
a terrible shot from
Yeah.
Atmospheric.
Even here it's still close, but the thing is, there's so much HP on Crestpix, while Kazna Crew's lineup had more split. And the second good thing is that they obviously have autoloaders with a decent amount of HP that can just go in and finish off the game.
Yeah, but it was really strange. I mean, Swift had the advantage of guns. They didn't have the HP, but I guess it's just down to focus fire again, and it's like the fight they had
Well,
in
Swift is playing
Himmelsdorf.
with a lot of single shooters. So
Yeah. I mean, it's like Himmelsdorf. They spread the damage across. They didn't take out single tanks. So let's have a look at the lineups for the next battle. We're Swift on the attack now, and we have Kazna Crew on the defense.
no surprises really in the lineups there. I mean, Swift with double TVP, kinda yes and no, but we've also talked about as TVP is good if you go eastern side, and blind shoot the bushes with that, and then all bad shots because all bad shots is always good.
Kazna Crew in their lineup compared to the previous battle, they've swapped out their scout. So they swapped an RU-251 for an AMX-1390, and they've swapped out the IS-4 and an IS-7. So the same core group again from Kazna Crew. This is something that we've seen so far on the previous 2 maps as well. They have a core unit of tanks, and they're only swapping out 2 tanks per round. It's
Well,
usually the same.
More of Vanka defense, You only need like 1 or 2 anchors and then some batchless and an AMX-3090 for the bush. TVP is kind of preferential, Some players like it more than the batchat. For example, you see Melan playing a lot of TVP on some maps, for example. It's just preferential, but if Swift want to do anything, they have to pick up this round.
Well, let's find out if they can do that, or can Kazna Crew step up to 5-1 and make this look like it's going to be a very swift exchange.
Very Swift exchange. I see what you did there.
As I said it, I was like, nuts. That's an unintentional pun.
Stefan,
But it's going to be a swift round if that goes that way.
just looking through it, I see Stefan already has binos on his batchat, so that's one thing to know. But look at this from Swift. Could be still a quick cap here, or at least an intention. Did they have to leave 2 guys, Skylex over there, together with Crestpix, I think?
They've stopped.
Wondering what they're doing over there. It looked like a quick cap for a second, but now it looks like just waiting for some sort of trigger to happen.
This reminds me of the things we've talked about previously with Swift, where Swift go into a battle with a plan A. If the plan A doesn't work, they have no plan B. We've seen it with the Wild Bunch as well. They just look like they are completely stuck. They don't know how to then see out the battle. And even if they don't see out the battle, okay, they don't have the tactics, but they have no idea how they're going to start the team fight. Because once your cap tactic goes out the window, if your team is set up for a one-trick pony, if like all you're going to try and do is go into the cap circle, like we've saw Swift do before on Runeberg, where they took the OHO and they were trying to park the OHO on the base and that didn't work. If that doesn't work, you need to have some other way to trigger the team fight, and that's where Swift sometimes seem to really struggle at. They struggle of how are we going to start this fight that we know we need to do.
So
I mean, look at their lineup right now. You'd think Swift are the ones defending. They're so spread out across the map.
So it's Stefan with binos, Elin with binos, and Isna with obviously spotting equipment. So they have 3 layers of spotting. Remember what E5 did last round? Elin is doing exactly the same thing. So if Isna dies, then there's Stefan, then there's Elin as well. So 3 layers of spotting pretty much, which is very hard. And I have to see how Swift can show us their best wood clearing abilities.
And this is one that always confuses me. If you know the teams are going to do this, if you see that 1390, you know that bottom area is going to be
Well, we saw
blocked
Kazna
out.
dismantle that defense in the last round, so it is possible.
Do you have any kind of shenanigans ready to deal with it? And Swift have done that in the past, but this time it looks like no.
The thing is that it is harder to attack the 1 base than the 2 base, even with the bushes, if you clear the bushes, you have a clear advantage. Let's see if they can do it, which is the one important factor here. Kazna is very close. Let's see if they figure it out. I mean, they still have a lot of time left at this point to actually figure it out, so we'll see.
Mendax from now still unspotted. You'll see the little square pop up around his name and his name go yellow when he is spotted. Atmospheric coming up behind him just now. Health pool advantage, I mean, from the start, Kazna crew have a slight advantage. The 400 HP is not going to make much of a difference once the actual battle starts. But yeah, Kazna crew just going to hold the line.
Swift here is repositioning, and they're kind of repositioning him possibly into what Kazna crew wants, because they have 2 bad shots and an E5 waiting in that 1-2 line. They drive into that, it is going to be very, very bad for them.
And this is something that Swift do on this map. They rotate, they counter-rotate, they rotate, they counter-rotate, and they just can't decide what to do.
Well, they haven't even started blind shooting yet, which is really surprising. Kind of wondering what they are waiting for. I mean, at very least, if you go eastern side, you have to start clearing those bushes one way or another. If you don't, then have to wonder what the plan here is for Swift. They're leaving a lot of tanks in the north. Now, how are they going to clear these bushes?
Those tanks from the north are going to rotate south within the next minute. What's going to happen, Daki? Or not?
I think Kazna crew have an ideal setup to deal with this, though, with Nexus and Eurofish in the buildings. It's going to be very hard for them to dig through that, especially because Ilian is in position to cover very quickly, and so is the E5. That's a lot of damage on the crossing.
Mersky going to try and get a bit of vision there, see if he gets spotted when he does peek over that area. Now give the rest of his team an opportunity to try and do something here, because it looks like they want to try and slowly push into the base. You see Mendax and Crispix pushing through the middle. Mendax does get spotted, but he's not going to know where exactly he was spotted from. Has to be careful here, because he could drive himself into a crossfire, but he could give his team some vital information if he gets any spots back himself. So he's able to push actually into a decent position here. You just have to watch, because this is exactly where the E5 was in the previous round from Kazna.
Yeah, similar setup here for them as well. Looks like they just want to somehow clear out the bushes. They used 5 minutes to get to this point, but we'll have to see. Vetsa has to be careful with his position there, because he's obviously not facing his front turret towards the left side. Whew.
Just turned it in time there.
Yeah, he could take a lot of damage very quickly, especially from a TVP.
Sneaky little snapshot there. Atmospheric is spotted by Yizin there in the bush. Stefan repositions himself there to try and get additional cover. Vetslo spotted, Mendax spotted right now, along with the TVP. So that'll be Alien as well spotted. But yeah, a slow again. This is what we've said about Swift. It's they have no, no encouragement to go forward. They just see the match out, and then it's like 2 minutes to go. And Swift are like, oh, well, we better do something, because now we can't cap and we need to get a fight started.
Well, they need to clear the bushes somehow, and it looks like they will probably send Road, I guess, at one point, because if they sacrifice anybody, it is Road usually. So we'll see if they send him. But Mannax is now starting to clear bushes, but they only have 4 minutes left to do so.
It's one of the biggest problems I would say Swift have had all season is just being so slow at reacting, especially on this map. We've seen them take so long on this map to actually make a move and decide something, and by the time they do decide to do it, they're up the creek. Now that little symbol you see there beside Atmospheric's name means that he has a damaged turret ring, which affects the rotation of his turret. When it's red, the turret is locked in whatever position he was aiming at and he's dead. Road goes for the suicide run, still hasn't spotted Heasney yet. It's going to pretty much crash into him by the time he spots him. But it's 3.5 minutes. It is the worst time possible to make that move. He does get behind the building. He was
survives.
on fire, but
How
he's
does he survive? But it's still a misplay from Kazna crew, because that tier 9 bad shot, he drove through the H-line bushes first, and only then he drove towards where Isna was, and he survived for that. He never, ever should be allowed to live through that. That is a very rookie mistake. You need to kill that guy at the very least to get the advantage. Now, yes, Kazna has more HP, but they need to rotate, and this could cost them a lot of HP depending on how much cap pressure and the angles that Swift decides to hold.
Cap being started by Atmospheric. Kazna going to wrap around the north of the map as the tanks that were north from Swift are going to rotate round to start defending the base 2 where the cap is being started. This is all going to depend on the focus fire coming in as we see Nexus, Eurofish, and it looks like Yizne are going to get a jump onto Mersky's Alien as well. So this little wolf pack at the top is going to ruin Mersky's day. But they're not actually jumping on him just yet as he's surviving, but not for long as here they come.
Here they come indeed, but look at the HP they're losing. Vetso is already down, Hyba as well, and all this time the cap is still going on. Kazna crew is throwing this round in my opinion.
Stefan running into the cap circle, but he's going to run into 3 guns. We're down to 9 seconds. Stefan does get a reset, but no, he doesn't. He misses a reset. This is what we've talked about before with Kazna. It's GG. Kazna's not going to get... Oh, they do! Alien gets a reset on Mersky here, but Alien is ammo racked now. Hyper's getting focused. We're down to 16 seconds. Kazna crew just absolutely throwing this one away to Swift. Swift are able to come right back into it. They're going to stay in the cap circle. No, they're going to come out and start looking for the fight, and they might as well should. They have the HP advantage here.
They know where all the guns are for Kazna crew. They can't run away. They know where all 3 are, and they are going to close it out now. After they didn't kill Road, they made a rotation, but they lost both their single shooters for that pretty much. And now it's GG for Swift, and they picked up that round. And realistically, Kazna crew, a bunch of mistakes stacking up there, going against them, not killing Road, and then the rotation came out, but their single shooters were already getting clipped by the TVPs at that point.
Come on, Alien, you can do it. 2 health left, 4 tanks. It'll be the stuff of legends.
Well, he's running, but he can't outrun bad shots with your TVP, mate.
Oh, Alien. And he's gone as Skylex gets the kill. So, a win for Swift there, but was it more of a Swift effort or was it more of a Kazna handing it to them?
Swift did it correctly. They took the similar positioning to what Kazna crew did. You could see that splitting up over the map, getting the crossfire. But they seem to be specifically prepared, or at least have the TVPs in position to deal with the single shooters, because both Vetso and Hyba came down that road while the rest was coming to the north, and the northern side really didn't do that much. They didn't do as much damage, it seemed like. We'll see in stats later, but they did lose Vetso very quickly. They lost Hyba very quickly. Afterwards, they had to send Stefan, because there was triple cap going on at the same time, and at that point, if you have to suicide one batch to reset, it's already really
a desperate
over.
move,
Especially if the TVPs get to survive and do another clip.
And the fact that Rhodes could get all the way through
That
and
is
survive.
Such a mistake.
That was like, come on, Kazna. Like,
one, Stefan could probably clip him by himself. Well,
he almost crashed into him by the time he spotted him as well.
Stefan can clip him by himself, but Alien should still be in position to help with him, which he wasn't. So Stefan 1 should be able to clip him by himself. If we speak realistically, obviously 5 shots, that's a dead tier 9 bad shot. And then there needed to be help. Hybo was in position, I think, still at that point. And
Kazna crew had triple layer there of spotting.
Well, they left because Stefan left his bush when they spotted Mandax, which was weird. But
top damage, let's have a look at the stats and see who came out on top for their team. Crispix in his TVP, then Mihalov and Skylex.
Both these TVPs getting at least 2 full clips out. Crispix even, well, more than 2, 2.5. But, you know, that's not meant to happen. And Stefan, Eurofish, Nexus, Alien, they did not that well. I mean, look at the damage. It's not the greatest.
Yep. I mean, you were saying there if it's 3,000, then it's good damage. And 2 players there, one on 3,000, one just slightly below 3,000. And then the other one as well, Skylex just below it as well. So great play from those 3 tanks of Swift. They're really doing the damage for their team and really helping their team secure that victory.
Yeah, he didn't get to do much in that one, obviously. That's very good from Road. He didn't even shoot. He just focused on driving away and surviving. But Hyba and Vetso could have done maybe more in that one. They kind of got singled out without the rest of their team. And, you know, I said if Swift want to have a chance in this match, they had to pick up this round, and they did. And, you know, the next map here being
Ruinberg.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
Especially because Kazna crew doesn't play it.
Okay, let's have a look at the highlights here. Now, this is Rhodes just driving through the middle, casually spotting out the Yizne for his team. Stefan suiciding here to try and reset the cap. Alien, Nexus does get the crossfire in to reset again, but too little too late, completely by this stage.
Yeah, Hyba survived longer than Vetso. I completely forgot about that. But at that point, Eurofish has all the HP, and we talk about that. When you have all the HP, it's not the greatest. You need to split it up a little bit. At one point, the HP just started dropping for Kazna when they drove into the crossfire of Swift, which was pretty much what happened to Swift when they drove into the crossfire of Kazna.
Alien lucky to survive there on 2 health. A bit unfortunate with the roll there, but
Yeah, he tried to run, tried to make a break for it, but
nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. There we go. So let's have a look at the lineups here for Runeberg, where we're going to see Swift on the attack and Kazna crew on the defense. Very, very haw-hee-haw Frenchy lineup there from Swift, Daki.
yeah, indeed, and we see what that lineup can do. Little City, if it can focus out tanks, it can work. We've seen it happen. Can it happen against Kazna crew though? Not sure. Gonna have to see about that one. We talk about it. What has to happen is the bad shots get to clip, kill 1 or 2 guns, and get out. Just run, 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 run. Get out, come back in with the guys that have HP, clip the next guys, and win that way. Now, if Kazna can focus on tanks themselves, it gives them the advantage. But both these teams, I mean, Kazna's played it 7 times, Swift has played it 10 times, and Swift have a horrible attacking ratio because they kept trying the Oho every time, which was like, oh no.
We've seen so many teams try this with autoloaders as well, and it always goes.
I'd still prefer it over the Oho.
Oh.
No, because that's more like, oh no.
Okay, well, let's find out if it's going to work as we can jump into Runeberg. Now, an important thing to remember, as you telling me there that Swift are a comeback team, somebody needs to remind Swift it is not best of 9. Swift are usually good at doing this. They let the other team get up to 4, then Swift come back and win the tiebreaker 5-4. But Swift is best of 13. You can't do it that way.
Indeed, and here we see that Swift is going to go for the Northern Rush, perhaps, and we talk about it. If you try and counter your opponent, sometimes it doesn't work out because they bring something else. Oof, Crespix already takes a shot there.
Crespix. Turret ring and gunner dead. So somebody hit him square in the neck there of his tank.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy with that one. I mean, he can repair his turret ring, but probably does not have a mat kit available.
He's down to 2 crew in the Batchat. Batchat only has 3 crew, so the driver and the commander are going to be working overtime here.
Indeed. Mandax takes a shot there from Isne, probably in the T-54 light from the side. Now Swift, they have to go for the Northern Rush here, and Kazna is not really set up for it ideally. Mandax can still get a clip off on the side. He will be reloaded. Depends on how much Alien can do.
They're driving over. Alien is spotted. How many shots can he get landing on them? 1. Alien does take a shot into Mersky. Now, the rest of the crossfire's coming over here. So many missed shots. Nobody else is connecting with Swift at the moment. Mersky takes another hit. Skylex gets hit 2 times there. Misses a 3rd one. Actually gets hit for a 3rd one as well. They take a lot of damage there. This is a problem that Swift have. They were really slow in coming across. Now, they have no counterfire yet. And they took a massive amount of damage getting into position.
Yeah, they took a lot of damage, and now they need to do the damage themselves. They need to kill these 113s, but Skylex already going down. That's not ideal. They need to kill Alien at the very least. They still haven't killed that 113.
Alien just sitting on the road there. There was nobody else sitting back who can actually get shots into him. As you can see, so many tracers flying back and forward. Skylex has been dropped on Swift. They have lost a tank. Kazna crew have only lost Alien. Yizni's getting focused now. Urofish actually drops down, so the health pools are starting to come back in order. But Kazna crew have roughly a 3,000 HP advantage over Swift right now.
Indeed, and Swift is on reload, so Stefan is now coming in with his friends. But it is going to be Vetso, and they have a lot of shells available between themselves, and Atmospheric and Mihailov, yeah, they're in trouble.
Stefan missing with his first shot as Vetso wants to come round, but Vetso's not so sure about coming round, which is silly because Atmospheric and Mihailov have not loaded yet, so they're wasting time here. Vetso needs to start doing something. Finally, he starts getting a shot into there as Atmospheric just pushes round. Now, Mihailov is going to be the next one to fall. Swift had a plan, but they were way too slow in executing it.
And they had a plan, but it's very hard to pull off that A-line crossing. It only works if you don't take too much damage on the crossing, and they did take a lot of damage. Mihailov now goes down. Crespix still has that dead gunner, but easy closeout for Kazna crew. The 113 survived way too long. They traded even more HP. I mean, they tracked 2 of them on the crossing, I think, which was the reason why they did so much damage onto Skylex, because they tracked him.
Yep.
So that was good stuff there, but you know, Kazna crew, they are going to pick up this round, but I would like to say, you know, it is Runeberg defense.
Crispix there taking a huge ricochet off the front of his tank there. Yizny coming around to finish him off, would do a ram, bit of a damage there. Gets his shot in, that's him dead. Kazna crew now sitting at 5-2 2 here, winning the first round on Runeberg.
Yeah, but it's Runeberg defense though. We talk about it. Swift is not a good Runeberg offense team.
Yeah.
So, yes, it was good. They tracked. Skylax did a lot of damage. Skylax went down afterwards. Their 1-1-3 survived for a very long time. They took down Mannax, who really did not have a big factor in this round at all. That 50B should be realistically clipping Elion completely, and then he dies.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen, so that's not great either. And then afterwards, Stefan and Vetso just came back, and the Batcha started on reload, so they just killed them off. And then even Haiba was full HP in that FE215B. So
yeah, a lot of people sometimes question the Batchat lineup, the all-French Batchat lineup. They'll say pourquoi when they see it. What would be the answer for that one, Daki?
Pourquoi?
Pourquoi pas?
Parce que c'est très vite, oui.
And that's the French lesson finished for today, ladies and gentlemen. You can look those words up on the dictionaries.
Huh?
I don't even know what you said.
Because it's fast.
Ah,
Parce que c'est
d'accord, d'accord.
Oui, oui. Pas de problème.
No problem. Okay, let's have a look at the damage done there. See who came out on top. Who do you think it was? It doesn't matter now because they're up. Vetso, yeah, well done.
Très bien joué de Vetso.
Ah, Vetso, très bien.
Très bien, oui, oui.
Right now,
Pas agréable.
I can already see chat going, why are they talking French? Stop speaking French. Pardonnez-moi, monsieur.
Je ne parle pas anglais.
Je ne parle pas anglais. No, wait a minute. Yeah, I do speak English.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real standout here at all. I mean, 2.5 is respectable, but not like a carry performance, obviously.
Spread across the team.
Spread across the team, which is good.
Lots of 1-8s. 3 1-8s there, 1-9, 2-1. So, yeah, quite close. Just not good enough, really, from Swift. It was it is a
also, you have to imagine, because auto Batcha lineup doesn't have as much HP, you're obviously not going to do as much damage.
I mean, it is a dangerous tactic to do. If it works, it's great, but
Rip
doing that crossing is so... what happened? What do you mean?
Rip Zero damage.
Yeah, okay. I thought you mean like you got ammo racked or something. You're trying to do that tactic. Teams, like we've seen it with Gohard, for example. Gohard like to take the all-French lineup, and they get pummeled making that crossing. It actually worked for them in the previous round against Utopia. It worked out really nicely, actually. But this time round, it's just another example of, as long as the other team, the defending team, can be prepared for it, you get wrecked as you try and cross like A5, A6.
I'm not even sure what Haiba was doing that entire round, because I just saw him come in the end, full HP. I was like, oh, hello.
He was maybe aiming south the entire time.
I don't know.
No, guys.
How much did he do? He did like 765 damage?
He's like, no, guys, wait a minute. I'm telling you, somebody's going to come around the bottom corner and like Haiba, like all 7 tanks accounted for. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. I'll be there in a second. Let's have a look at the lineups for round 2. Now, Kazna crew attacking, Swift defending. Kazna crew bringing a Leo prototype.
Leo prototype. Leo prototype. That could perhaps be for the middle road. Could perhaps be for the middle road or zero line. I mean, the proto has a decent gun, so that's not that bad. But other than that, full French lineup. Could it? I mean, they can do whatever. You know, they can do the little city push. They can also do the A-line crossing. Gonna have to see what they decide to go for. That PTA is an interesting choice. Middle road to zero line is where I think he'll go. Perhaps they'll surprise me. But Swift, you know, a decent lineup, T54 lightweight for the zero line, the FE215B. It's pretty similar. It's exactly the same lineup as Kazna.
Kazna crew adding a little bit of a German bite to their French lineup there. Is it going to work for them, Daki?
I have no idea. I mean, I think it only works in the middle road or the zero line, but who am I to say? I'm just a caster.
You're just a caster. You're just a man sitting in front of a desk asking a team to win for him.
Well, I don't really care who wins. I think whoever gets 7 rounds deserves to get it, you know?
What is your predictions for who's going to win? Has it changed now?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Well, let's jump into the action and find out, are Kazna crew going to take it on to match point? Or are Swift going to come back into it? It's all to play for right now. Or are Swift going to let Kazna get match point and then bring it back, as Swift are well known to do with the reverse sweep? Rainmetal Scorpion on sale. Good tank, actually, isn't it?
Yes,
I know you're giggling, but I know you play it a heck of a lot.
No, I don't play it a heck of a lot.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, it's just an okay tank
And
here.
the pack 88, which actually farms a heck of a lot of credits. As long as you can protect that lower front plate, that's a good credit farmer.
So Vettel Stefan here just setting up, but this batshot crossing is not really going to work out very well. I think Skylax, Manlax already getting in position. Crespix is there as well. And if they waste their ammo on road, we know what happens.
Rhodes baits a shot out there from Nexus. Nexus backs off. Road taking multiple shots there, but Nexus taking a lot of shots as well. He's going to have to back off. He's pretty much on a one-shot, as Road can just survive in that corner if he gets into the defensive area. Dares is getting shots as well, but he gets counter-shotted as well. The return fire from Swift here is really on point, and Kazna crew are backing off right now with a bit of a bloodied nose.
You saw the difference between the positioning of Elian and Nexus in the beginning. Elian was using the house to protect himself, when Nexus was in the open, so Skylax just shot him a few times, and if they don't kill Road, then obviously their crossing wasn't worth it, and Road survived, and that's all they needed. So now he's 491 HP, but doesn't matter. No, it doesn't. He is there. You want to kill him, you have to go for him. You'll take some more damage, and look at the difference at this point. There's already 3k, and that's what we talk about. This is the French lineup that didn't do any damage in the beginning.
Yep.
So it's the French lineup with less HP.
So already started with less HP. Kazna crew in a dangerous position now, whereas if they try and get any kind of push going on, Nexus and Alien are just going to be two-shotted right out of the battle. So can Dares. Now, Kazna crew will be left with 4 tanks, which still have a lot of HP. To be fair, Stefan and Vetso are 2 of those tanks in the 50Bs, but look at all the HP that Swift have. I mean, it's Rhodes, their tier 8, that's taking the most damage.
I'm going to tell Crespix to start bringing medkits, because every single round he loses something.
He's lost his commander, which also means there's no jack of all trades. And there's no 6th sense for him. That could be like really vital when the fight starts.
Yep, it could be. But the only reason why the Kazna crew tanks managed to run away so well is because they're French, and you know, one gear forward, 3 gears backwards.
Really? Wow. How many gears do the Belgian tanks have?
None, because we don't have any. we use horses.
Well, that probably explains what happened in the world. But never mind. We'll not go there.
Whoa.
We'll not go there.
I am deeply insulted.
Don't worry, France. We've got your back. Oh, wait a minute. They're coming through. No, never mind.
Whoa, that is just.
You started it.
On behalf of the Belgian people, I would like a formal apology.
Okay, I'm sorry to all the Belgian people.
Thanks.
You guys make great waffles, by the way.
I know we do.
Why don't you bring any to the office? Next time you go home, bring back waffles.
We're all on a diet, remember?
No. I had a can of Iron Brew earlier on. That diet's going out the window and I've got a pizza waiting after this. But hey, we're going off topic right now.
Well,
sorry, chat, for getting distracted.
We're just waiting for Kazna crew's rotation, obviously. They're not doing much. Durs is still stuck where he is. Road is not misplaying it like we've seen, for example, Suxika misplay it in the Go Hard match.
I know sometimes this happens. Everyone's like, oh God, they're not talking about the battle. But nothing's happening right now, guys. That's why we're
The only thing that's happened is that the bad shots have repositioned towards the north. They might go for an A-line crossing, which is going to cost them a ton of HP, most likely.
Mersky's in position, Mihailov's in position, and looks like Skylax's in position. Mihailov actually getting shot at now. This is great fire from Kazna crew into Mihailov. He's going to have to get himself in a bit safer position. That's a massive amount of damage, and really well done from the 2 autoloaders there from the 250Bs.
That wasn't great from Mihailov at all. How did he even take so much damage? Nobody knows.
He was in a really bad position there, and you can still see shots coming out here from Eurofish as well. Nexus is now in a reload. Stefan's not on the reload.
Yeah, but how did he get wrecked so hard?
Because he was in front of the crater, I think.
He was in front of it?
I think he was either in front of it or in it. He wasn't positioned properly. Another shot coming in. He's not safe yet. As we see this last one from Nexus, maybe might catch him.
They need to send somebody else to go help him, because otherwise they can just cross over the A-line.
It looks like Skylax is the one that's doing it. He's going all the way up the 0 line. He's in the back corner at A0.
Skylax is a 50B mate. I think it's Crespix.
Is it Crespix? I can see the initial edges. Oh, okay. It's not.
Well, this just brought Kazna crew back into the round. You know, only 1,000 HP difference at this point. Mihailov there, mate, not good. Not good at all.
Just trying to see the curvature of the first letter, and I thought it was an S. My bad. I didn't look at the symbol for the vehicle.
I mean, still, I think it's in favor of Swift, you know, because they're defending still. Mihailov, yes, made a mistake, but the thing is that Kazna crew still has to make a play at some point. What they've done very well is to get Swift to split up their forces. They're very dislocated from each other. they're very far away from each other. Crespix won't be there for at least 20-30 seconds if they do decide to push this out. So, I mean, there's potential here. And Road takes a shot as well because he got spotted and he goes down.
Road is down now, and it looks like Kazna crew might try and do something on base number 2. Who could they send in to start a cap there?
One of the tier 9 batches, perhaps.
Stefan doing some blind shots right now. He has nobody spotted. He's trying to clip out and see if he can connect with anyone.
Oof, good bounce.
Just pulls back at the right time. As here we see Eurofish and Haiba going up. Eurofish is going to be the one to get the initial spots. He's going to be the one furthest forward. He's going to see what he can see for his team. He could spot out a lot of people here.
He does actually spot out a lot of people, and Mandax will take some as well. This is not good from Swift. They're trading so much HP for nothing all over the place here.
Mandax now being focused by Kazna, as we see Atmospheric getting shot at as well because he's spotted. Mandax having to come forward and try and deal with Eurofish. I'm not sure if that was the best idea because he was already spotted, and Swift are just trading tanks for nothing at the moment.
Swift is losing this round. Now Stefan is into the middle road as well. They're 2 guns down, and I don't know what they're doing to throw away this advantage now. I think Mirsky is going to get clipped by Stefan.
Stefan just coming around the corner here. There's one out into Mirsky. He misses with it. Mirsky connects with his one. Stefan's going to get the rest of his shots into Mirsky. Another one might do it. As he does, he takes a shot back in return from Skylex, but it doesn't matter, as the rest of Kazna are just going to swoop in and deal with the remaining tanks of Swift here, as we see Atmospheric being the next one focused as they're getting shots into Crespix as well. Atmospheric still standing, however, Kazna crew are just not finishing him off. Looks like they want to shoot Crespix. They do get a shot into Atmospheric. It looks like perhaps an ammo rack. It was a big explosion there. Now we see Crispix fall as well. Swift only with Mihailov left on 289 health, and Skylex. This is going to be Kazna crew taking at match point as we get ready to go into steps, which is going to be map 5.
I have no idea what just happened during that entire round. That was very weird.
Wow. Swift, who were in control there, just seemed to lose tank after tank after tank.
Was Road in the bush spotting? Because it seemed like that. Because he got spotted and then backed off. That's a mistake.
He peeked, like he peeked over and got shot at, and then when he backed off, he wasn't as far down as he thought he was. So then he just got one for his turret.
If he survives, that probably puts him in a good advantage. Kazna played around very well. I mean, obviously after they killed Road, they took zero line. Obvious stuff, right? After that, Mandax. No idea.
Mihailov at the top. I mean, getting caught out by those 2 autoloaders.
He should never get caught out like that over there.
And they pumped a lot of shots into him. I mean, between the 2 of them, they could have been able to kill him.
He forced Crespix to rotate as well. And if Crespix didn't have to rotate, it's a different game as well.
But Kazna crew were doing good. It was like almost like watching lions go for the weakest ones in a herd. They were just like, okay, him now. Take him out like that one.
Yeah, it looked really bad in the beginning. I honestly thought they were going to lose that round because it looked really dire.
They were totally out of position, and they were playing a lineup that was all French as well. So just like the previous round that Swift had tried. So there you go, Swift. What you need to do is you need to put a leopard in there. That's the key to using that tactic.
An animal.
An animal. Just put an animal in there, yeah. Preferably one at tier 10.
An animal always works.
Yep.
Well. God, what have I done? If I go to my team speak
You're an
tonight,
animal. You're an animal, Daki.
It's going to be a gift.
You're an animal.
I just don't know what to do with myself anymore.
You didn't wink at the camera again, did
I
you?
hope Shisha's not watching.
Shisha's always watching. She's always in
I
the
fear
shadows.
for my life.
Always in the shadows. So you can just ban him from TeamSpeak again.
Yeah.
I got the story about why he got banned recently, revolving around a team kill, I believe. Not cool, not cool. So let's have a look at the stats and see where the damage came from in that battle. Skylex coming out top damage, but then the next 3 damage dealers all coming from Kazna crew.
Yeah, good from Kazna. Eurofish, Stefan, Vetso. Good stuff, especially those 50Bs. Both of them did a lot of damage to Mihailov, and then afterwards came in, finished off the game. I mean, once you have the gun overmatch, you saw Kazna, they can just drive in, finish them off, and Swift was so far away from each other at that point. Still feel like Road, a little bit of a mistake there. Same with Mihailov, really costing them a lot. Honestly, it did cost them a ton. But it is how the cookie crumbles.
Look at that. 10 to 14 all Swift players.
Yeah, that's not great at all.
Now, here's a question, Daki. The next map we're going to go into is going to be Steps. Now, when the previous map we had Oops on match point, and Oops just went, okay, let's go for it. Let's just finish off this match. Do you think Kazna crew are going to do something simple? and just play it out
Well, they
cool?
have to attack.
Or
So
are Kazna crew going to be like, no, let's just go for it?
but Kazna has to attack, so they kind of have to do something aggressive at one point.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the highlights. Talk us through what happened here.
Road here got spotted for no reason whatsoever. And then Mannax here. Not sure exactly what went on there. As I said, Mirsky here getting clipped by Stefan. That was very obvious that it was incoming. And then afterwards, you know, you have the gun overmatch, you just go in and kill them. Swift had no response after Road died. They had no clue what to do after Road died. It was like, Road died, okay, let's just give up the round.
Eurofish there getting rammed by Skylex, but Skylex, I mean, he can bounce a couple of shots and stuff, but he's surrounded. He goes down. Kazna crew finishing that game with 6 tanks still ready to go, so good play from them.
Yeah,
well
impressive.
recovered.
They played that round very well.
But now they have match point. Let's have a look at the lineups here for Steps. Kazna on the attack, Swift on the defense.
What a surprise, double 1-1-3-4 Batchas and an RU-251 on both sides.
Oh, we've got a mirror match.
Mirror matchup?
Mirror matchup.
Yep, indeed. But it's the standard lineup here for Steps. You know, you bring the 1-1-3, so you can go rails, for example, or go to the Eastern Cab, the RU to boost on the mountain. Sometimes the attacker likes to bring an artillery piece because they can dig out the 1-1-3s. Now it's probably going to be Swift going for the rails. It's the most obvious thing to say. Going for the rails with the 1-1-3s and the RU on the Eastern Mountain. And then Kazna crew, they can do anything. We've seen Ding, for example, go very aggressive east, or they can go west, whatever they want to do.
So no dares for Kazna crew this time round, which is quite interesting. Let's jump into the action here. Can Kazna crew finish this one on Steps? So the Kazna crew Wolfpack is hunting prey on the savannas of Steps.
Well, they seem to be going towards that western side. Mikhailov makes the first part of the climb successfully. And Swift is setting up with their Batchats and their 1-1-3s as we expect. They leave one Batchat far away though, which is going to be Mirsky. So if he gets spotted out, then for example, Kazna crew might take the overmatch. You know, if you see a possible overmatch, you might try and take it.
Mirsky is spotted by Yuzne.
They're baiting Swift. They're baiting Swift to think that it's an Eastern play, and it is actually working. Because look at Swift, they're rotating already, but now the spots come out, Road and Atmospheric should turn around, and this might have actually been genius from Kazna crew. Isne provides the bait, and now Kazna crew is coming with 4 Batchats and a double 1-1-3.
This is going to be hell to play for in a minute here, as Swift are going to get shot at by this gun line if they can get over and focus targets. But Kazna crew are a bit 6s and 7s here, not knowing where to shoot at as the damage is going against them rather than for them. Right now we can see Alien being focused. He's about to drop. Next shot is going to connect with him if anyone can get that shot into him. But no, nobody can get him. He's still alive. Mendax is being focused on Swift, as is Crespix. But right now it's Kazna crew that are taking all the damage here from Swift. Swift need to make the shots count. They need to start removing tanks and not just doing damage.
Swift's rotation just barely on time, getting back into position to deal with that. Now Kazna crew lost so much, they lose Isne as well. And now the crossfire from Swift should come into full effect here. And there's not much Kazna crew can do. They tried to make the bait. It kind of worked out, but they were a little bit too early. 5 more seconds, and it would have worked. But those 5 seconds that they were too early, Skylex spotted them. They rode and Atmosphere got back into position, and the Batchats got in position to deal with it. And now this round is going to Swift. Most likely, set it on Runeberg, jinxing it again.
Swift with the 3k health advantage here, roughly about 4k now as actually that remaining shot comes in. Stefan's down to a 1-shot now. Eurofish takes another small damage there as well. Swift still have a lot of health to play for in their tanks. We see finally Skylex getting the kill on Stefan. Nexus looks to be the next one to be focused down on Kazna crew. Is he surviving now? Nope, he's now dead. Kazna crew down to 4 tanks. Swift still have 6 tanks available, and they're going to continue looking for this fight and trying to pick out more tanks of Kazna crew.
Indeed, they're kind of driving in all over the place now because they know they have the advantage and they just want to kill Kazna crew. I mean, Swift, they are the combat kings, so perhaps, you know, it's potential. And the amount of pressure on Kazna crew right now is insane, you know. If they don't pick up, you know, they're on match point.
This is it. Swift are saying to Kazna crew, haha, you have match point. We have you exactly where we want. Now we're going to come back and win this one 7-6.
Well, the issue here is going to be that Swift on steps have a significant 0% win ratio on the attacking side.
So, well played there from Swift, taking it back. We're now sitting on 6-3. Kazna crew still on match point. They still have it in their control, realistically. And they're going to swap positions
If it's anybody that can bring this to tiebreaker.
And if there's any team that can tilt in this situation, I mean, the story's there, ladies and gentlemen. Yep,
may the
Kazna
odds
crew
be ever in your favor.
Yeah, Kazna crew, the team that's known to tilt when they're match point up ahead like this, or match point up ahead like this.
Against the team that knows how to deal with being against match point.
That's the comeback kings.
Well, the thing is, though, Swift has 0% win ratio on the attacking side. But if it goes to Mines?
Mines?
If it goes to Mines, then I think it's going to tiebreaker.
All the way to Mines. That's a long way to go still. We've still got steps to go here. And then we've got 3 more matches to go. And could be. I mean, anything's possible with these two teams.
Anything can happen. Ryan.
Anything.
I always ask Mojo this. Mojo, do you believe? Ryan, do you believe?
I think it's possible. Tiebreaker, yeah. I'm hungry, though. I really want my pizza. My pizza's going to be cold. I'm not happy about this. But let's have a look at the stats and see where the damage came from in this round. Road.
A road.
Unusual to see you at the top of the tree, laddie, for damage. Well done. All you need to do is not play the scouts. He does do well when he plays the higher tiers.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Not all the time.
Not all the time.
Okay, once.
I hope Swift doesn't know that they have 0% win ratio on steps attack.
Nexus and Stefan. Whoa, boys, where were you this match?
That was actually a really good bait from Kazna crew. Sending Kazna there is like
Kazna crew did great. They set their own trap and fell for it.
No, it's like they send Isna as a bait that they're going aggressive on the eastern side because the RU goes first and then you send the rest of the team.
It was nice.
But Skylex decided to drive over the rails, and when he did, he spotted the 113s and the bad shots, so he kind of saw everything.
Yeah, just slightly too early there from Kazna crew. It would have been really good. Nice idea. Actually. Nice idea. Nice plan, just not executed well. Now let's have a look at the lineups. Let's have a look at the lineups and see what tanks are going to be used now, Daki.
So Swift deciding to bring the same lineup minus a bad shot and plus a 140. That single shooter. He can work at the rails well as well. He can just peek over.
It's the exact same lineup from Kazna crew. And it would have been the exact same lineup for Swift, but they brought the object and ruined it. Or we would have had 4 times the same lineup.
I think for Kazna it's the same thing. I mean, they're going to go rails. If I was them, though, I don't know. I think I might make a trap in this situation. Just go east and make a trap. Pray for it. Like, seriously, being on match point and having 3 rounds difference, I would make a trap in the east.
You want to do something cheesy. I mean, right now all that matters is a win. They can't afford to have this draw any longer. So do something cheesy, do something sneaky, and just get the win. Now let's jump into the action here on steps. Can Kazna crew take this match? Can they take it 7-3 and go on to the LAN finals? Or can Swift hang in here and bring it back 4-6? Look, one thing's for sure, we're going to find out in the next 10 minutes.
Look at what Kazna crew is doing. I'm a genius.
It's a trap within a trap, Daki.
I'm a genius. I would do exactly the same thing. I would also make a trap.
I would give you a gold star if I had one right now.
I mean, it's what I would do. I would make a trap. It's the most, it's the thing that could probably work out the most in your favor if you do make a trap.
Rhodes could drive right into this. We've seen this happen so many times.
But Mannax has the read on. Ooh, road. Careful, mate. Careful.
Road.
Road?
What are you doing, lad?
Well, he's dead.
Well, Rhodes says, hey, Kazna crew's over here.
I don't know why he drove over the rails. Like...
Rails?
I mean, over the deflate.
Okay.
I don't know why. That didn't make sense. I don't understand. Trying to understand. I don't know.
Swift are now like, and they're just running away.
I don't know. Road, I don't understand, really. Maybe stress, tilt, something like that.
But I mean, this is what I was talking about. Me and Mojo were saying this earlier on. Mojo's saying he reckons that being able to go from a match like this into the 3rd and 4th match is good because the teams are pumped up, they're active, they're ready to go. Whereas I personally think that the teams would be potentially fatigued, especially if this one draws out for a long time. Whoever wins it with Swift and Kazna could be really tired, and then they've got to play another best of 13 right after it. I mean, think we'll have a 10-minute break.
I think it's the best of 9.
Okay. But still, it's a tough match. It's a long time for these people to do it. And if this does get drawn out into a tiebreaker, they are not going to be confident.
Oh, this is not good for Swift. They're sending 3 bad shots to clear where Mirsky and Skylex are. Or it depends if Stefan is going to go for it as well or if he's not. Because Nexus and Vetso, if they go together, then they could die. If there's 3 of them, then it's looking good for Kazna. But now it's looking good for Swift.
Hyba's there with them.
No, he's not. He's too far away.
Oh, I'm talking about the tight at the bottom here. Skylex gets a shot into Vetso as we see them getting shots into Nexus and missing. Vetso taking another hit. They've not connected with Nexus yet. They're going to try and focus him, these 2 bat chats.
They need to go down and kill them before Stefan gets in there.
At the start, at the top of the thing, we can see the fight. They were jumping into Eurofish as well. But these 2 bad chats down the bottom, Vetso and Nexus are now trading positions and trading shots. Mersky has the HP. Stefan's now going to come over and get his shots. Then they're going to get distracted and shoot at Stefan. Another shot there into Nexus. They try to get the final shot. They don't. Now, Swift are left with 4 tanks here. They haven't killed Eurofish up top, where they have a massive overmatch. Alien is still sitting in base. Swift have not taken advantage here. Kazna crew still with the vital guns in game.
It's over. It's over.
It's GG. It's done. It's a done deal right now.
It looks over at this point. Mikhailov comes over, tries to do the damage, but how much is he going to lose for it? Yes, they kill Eurofish, but they will lose Mikhailov. Well, they should lose Mikhailov at the very least. I mean, it's 4 against 6 guns here. It's over. Hyba picks up Mikhailov. 3 guns standing for Swift, and it looks like Kazna crew will be doing it.
With that fight down the bottom, Swift should have seen that there was a massive overmatch north and they should have pushed the deal. Instead, Eurofish was able to survive for way longer than he needed to be. And those tanks that were stuck up the top, the 4 tanks of Swift, were absolutely useless in being able to save their teammates down the bottom. Now, Kazna crew can happily sacrifice Nexus or Vetso for spots right now, and the rest of their team have a heck of a lot of HP. You have Hyba on nearly full health, Stefan on full health, Alien full health, Yizne full health. Okay, but he's the tier 8.
But Mirsky and Skylex should really have gone down and just taken the fight with Nexus and Vetso and at least kill those 2 guns, because then it would have been an equal trade. Now Nexus is alive, Vetso is alive, and that's realistically all that matters. Gun in the game is what matters, and now I think Mannax, unless they can find Stefan without Stefan doing a single shot, Hyba will be here in position, and these guns, that's all that matters, and I think Stefan even will just clip into the side of Mannax.
Yep, that's all that's needed is anybody else to get shots. I mean, they're missing Stefan here. I mean, all you need is somebody to start shooting first, and then Nexus and Vetso can start shooting from safe positions. They're not going to get focused. They might try and take a sneaky shot and just kill them, but as long as the rest of their team is shooting, these guys can pump out shots from the side, which they're doing so. 1 tank focused, Atmospheric's going to be the next one focused, although Hyba did miss his shot.
It's all over at this point as Atmospheric and Crespix are now the last 2 standing. Atmospheric, he's getting pounced on by Alien. He goes down, and it's just Crespix standing in between Kazna crew and the offline finals.
So here we have it. We're going to have Kazna crew and we're going to have Oops playing off for 3rd and 4th place in the league. Now that is going to be a vital match between these 2 players, because whoever wins that one will be playing against Utopia. Whoever loses against that one will be playing against Ding. And realistically, right now, nobody wants to play against Ding.
Nobody, indeed. Well, good stuff there from Kazna. Road making a mistake there. Don't know why he kept driving, especially when he spotted Alien already.